Hey, what's up, Reefers? I had to open my big mouth last video about not having a crash after coming back from Japan. Sure enough, something happened. Let me show you the result first, and then I'll let you guess what may have caused this, because this is kind of interesting, in a bad way. So thankfully, the SPS die-off is pretty isolated. In fact, if you look here, I'll zoom in a little bit, it's right there. So, this is kind of like a little mystery. It's kind of intriguing as well. So can you guess what caused this die-off? Here, I'll zoom out too. I'll give you like 10 seconds, so just jot it down in the comments below. What you think caused that die-off just to that portion of the reef tank. Look at this. Everything else seems okay, thankfully. Oh, you want to play too? Okay, has it been 10 seconds? I think it's almost 10 seconds. Okay, well, let's review. Alright, so what's happened is this. So about a week and a half ago, about 3:30 in the afternoon, all of a sudden, internet just went out. And that was a little strange because the internet has not been out for a while. I use Fios, so usually it's pretty stable. So internet went out. I did not think too much of it. I went out, picked up kids, ran some errands, came back around 6 o'clock. I saw that internet was still out. Not a huge deal until I finally came downstairs to the basement where this big tank is. I noticed that everything was off. Power was off. There's no flow. Pump was gone. The water drained to right at that spot right there. You see where I'm going with this? So for about 2.5 and 3 hours, that portion of the Goldenrod Anacropora was exposed to air. The silver lining to the power loss episode, if you can call it that, is that the light was also off. Otherwise, the coral would just be baking. For the initial day or so, no change, but of course, a couple days later, you started seeing bleaching. Usually for SPS, the response is a little bit delayed. So it's been about a week and a half, like I mentioned, and you see that the top part has completely bleached. Now looking at it, they are bleached out. There are sections near the top where we got some cyanobacteria probably growing on it. Those are gone. Those are gone. However, you see that the divide between the bleached and the colored is kind of like a gradient. It's not like a really clean cut. So I'm holding out hope for some of it to be kind of like colored back in because I feel like it's not all dead. And that's why I did not really frag them off yet. And of course, time will tell what happens. I'm just gonna let it ride. It's been about a week and a half. I'm gonna give it maybe like another 2 or 3 weeks or so before I make anything drastic. I'm just gonna leave it. Not a huge deal because the Goldenrod Anacropora is a really fast grower for me. Although it is a shame because some of the ones that are growing out of the water, they started developing a really interesting growth formation. It's almost like they cup and then they kind of grow back sideways or even downwards. So it was kind of interesting to see the growth pattern when it hits the water top. But of course now we gotta wait a little bit longer. In the meantime, look at this. The WWC slime ball, that's its green one right here, continue to grow and just take over this portion. And here are the frags of the Weeping Willow that I no doubt will talk a little bit more later in this video as well. I have been giving these away and trading them away locally. For the first round, I don't want to take any money, simply because I got this frag for free from Remy as well as Jim Telegram, who have transported it all the way from St. Louis. I want to make sure I kind of give back a little bit first for the culture. You see they have all grown really well, even the one with no tiles. That one was a flat piece that grew against the sided container. It did not attach a tile, attach a side, just rip it off and just super glue it to the plug. And surprisingly, it attached really well and started growing on the plug. So these are growing really well. So I already gave away, I think 3 pieces already. Some of these are going this week, and I may still have some more afterwards. A lot of people asked about shipping. I do not plan to ship this time simply because it's so cold. I've never done it, so I'm not really crazy about dealing with like shipping logistic this round. I'm hoping that the next round I have frags probably going to be around summertime, and that's when Reef Palooza and also in falls I believe Aquashella also have a New York, New Jersey show. So I'll definitely bring some with me to one of those shows if any of you guys are interested in any of these frags. Same thing with Space Invader Pectina, healed out really well already. I passed out, I think 2 frags. I think 2 more are going this week. And I accidentally broke off a piece of the, I believe this is an Indigo torch. I was cleaning the mangrove tank and accidentally snapped this off, so I just made a frag. So that's that. And up front, this came from a trade with Julian, local reefers, and fantastic guy. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful red mushroom. Some of you guys maybe think this is common, but honestly, some of the common corals are fantastic. Number one, they're already really hardy. They grow fast, they multiply fast. That's why they're a little bit more common. And number two, a lot of times they're really colorful and really beautiful. And that's why people try them first, because they're so beautiful. So I got that. And also in the back, which is unfortunately covered up right now, also Kojiwara. Japanese Nethias that also came from Julian, from a trade. I traded him a frag of the Weeping Willow, as well as I keep calling Weeping Willow. Some of you guys call me out on it. Weeping Willow, as well as the Space Invader Pectina. I traded one of each for these guys. So thank you so much again, Julian. It's a pleasure meeting you.
4 to 6 weeks later.
Oh hey, welcome back. It's been about 3.5 weeks since the bleaching events where the power went off and the Goldenrod Anacropora has been exposed to water. And I'll zoom in for a better look. As you can see, the portion that was bleached is actually coloring back. So I am actually really glad that I did not have any knee-jerk reaction of cropping off all the bleach portion, because as you can see, apparently they're still alive. They're bouncing back. So this is excellent news. Other things does not seems to be really impacted by the power outage. Everything just kind of trucking along. So the next thing I really want to show you are the frags. The frags we took of the Weeping Willow and also Space Invader Pectina. As you can see, a lot of them are gone. And the other two will be picked up, I think, next week maybe. And over here on the frag rack, you see that this is the Kojiwara, or the Japanese pink Nethias that I got from a local hobbyist. This is actually the smaller piece. The larger piece did not attach successfully to the substrate, so it went right back into the mushroom box. But this is a smaller piece. Check out the details. Absolutely love the softies. And speaking of red mushroom, here's one of them. This was actually attached to the tile, but I guess it does not like it and kind of worm its way to the bottom of the frag rack. It's a really nice red mushroom. So we'll see what happens. But the main thing is to make sure that this frag attached firmly to the plug or the tile. We'll mount it and then we'll take a look and see what I can do about the mushrooms. Speaking of the mushroom, here are the rest of the red mushroom that came with the swab. Once again, huge thanks to Julian for hooking me up. I think these mushrooms are perfect for the shaded portion of this tank, namely this portion as well as over here. I am trying my best to find some of those higher end mushrooms, for example, like Jawbreakers, OG Bounce, even the Sun-Kissed Bounce as well, to just kind of litter the bottom portion what's somewhat shaded. I think mushrooms are fantastic. Unfortunately, like I mentioned in past videos, I lost all of the Jawbreakers and OG Bounce from antibiotic dosing a year and a half ago in this tank. I was fighting the SPS die-off, did an ultimatum, just kind of scorch earth, dump some antibiotic in here, stop the die-off for maybe a week or two. Unfortunately, continue after that, but definitely wiped out the mushroom on hindsight. So be really careful if you ever decide to do some in-tank treatments. And the other thing I really want to point out is the Goniporas. The Goniporas has been doing exceptionally well in this tank. Some of you guys ask me like, okay, what's my secret with Gonipora health? And honestly, if there's one thing I can point to, I definitely want to point to the dosing of manganese. So before dosing manganese, a lot of them, well, mainly this one actually, they would bleach out. They're all kind of shrunken into the skeleton for the longest time, almost half a year. I just see them, all the polyp barely extending, and I was just surprised I actually survived that long. They're just kind of barely hanging on. But once I started dosing, where's my manganese? Right here. Once I started dosing manganese by using the Reef Moonshiner methods, within a week, thing just started extending, and it just non-stop ever since. Manganese, a lot of different programs out there provided. For example, ATI has it. Reef Blueprints, I think Chris would also have it. So manganese is manganese. So use whatever brand that you prefer. For myself, I am using the Reef Moonshiner element, so that's what I have. As you can see, all the Goniporas here. And speaking of Goniporas, and I apologize for the really dirty glass, because like with the frag rack in, it's a little bit tougher to maneuver the magnetic scraper to the back portion of the tank. So usually I just kind of leave it out. I just let it do what it does. But what I'm trying to say is that my tank is full of Goniporas. It's too full. So I am actually looking to trade or sell this chunk of pink Gonipora because I have another one up here that's the same morph. This one getting closed up is about not golf ball, probably baseball size, if not a little bit larger. And when it expands, as you can see, it's quite large. It's actually larger than the red one, but because the red one has a better positioning, that's why it's fully expanded like this, versus this one, it has a lot more expand potential. So this guy, if you're in the Maryland, Virginia, DC area, hit me up, let me know. I have my hand here roughly for size. Maybe I'll put a spoon here for size. This is definitely a large piece, so it would be nice to be like a space filler if you have a relatively empty tank. And can you even see from the front? Not really, but you can see that one is the same morph. That one is starting to get large as well. But yeah, let me know if you're interested. I'm not looking to ship at the moment, so that's why I'm saying Maryland, Virginia, DC area. All the Weeping Willow at the moment have been spoken for. For the Space Invader Pectina, 2 of them are spoken for. I believe the largest one and the smallest one are spoken for, so there's one more left if you're looking. If you're looking for Goldenrod Anaproporas or WWC Slime Ball, Green Anacropora, if you're looking for Gold Torch, what else do I have? I have a lot of random stuff. If you're looking for like the Japanese, they call it the Purple Nithias, I believe, but it has that awesome neon green polyps. If you're looking at any of these, let me know. But yeah, a lot of things is probably due for fragging soon. Even all these. Yeah, I can hear my kids running down now, so I'm gonna leave you guys. Oh yeah! Oh, these damselfish. Azure damsels, they hated each other's guts. They hated each other's guts to a point where one is just kind of constantly back here, but recently they started hanging out. This guy did not move in here yet, because this one lives in this cluster. That's his home, or her home. But they have been making contact. Does that mean they're pairing up? I hope so, because I love the Azure damsels. Look at that. This is absolutely amazing. I love it. And again, I told you guys that I want to make this tank, turn this tank into more like a damsel tank. Gangster's Paradise. Simply because like I feel like small fish does so much for the scale of the tank. It makes your tank look so much bigger, make your scape looks bigger. That's why I like small fish. Oh, look at that. I think something is going on, man. Love is in the air. I mean, spring is almost here. Yeah, something is happening. I love it. The last thing I want to talk about is fish stock. With the Colorado Sunburst anemone growing so well, I really want to reintroduce clownfish into this tank. I know. I said I'll never want clownfish in this tank again. I can't keep away. I do have a beautiful, beautiful pair in my mangrove tank that came from Sea Puppies, Florida. So I plan to maybe move that pair down here and then get another pair for the upstairs tank. I start them smaller, and as they get large, the plan has always been to move down here since an anemone was establishing pretty well down here. The other thing I'm looking into as well is potentially, I'm not sure if I want to do it, but I may rehome the Lauderdale Amphias. These Lauderdale Amphias has been with me for 4 years now. They're super, super healthy. I got 3 first. They stayed with me for about a year and then got 3 more. Unfortunately, the male did jump out last year. So this is actually a female that turned to a male. But these guys is all, these girls and this guy has all been really, really super healthy. They're just getting a little bit large. And if I introduce clownfish to this tank, we get more orange fish. I figure, okay, let's balance things out a little bit. If I rehome the Lauderdale Amphias from this tank, maybe I can get something different. I don't know. I'm still thinking. I always thought like a small shoal of threadfin cardinal fish would be fantastic for this tank, but we'll see when we cross the bridge. But I'm playing with ideas. And also, this stock guy, damselfish, is getting large. And it's getting a little bit mean. Not mean in a damselfish way, because this fish is relatively tame when it comes to damselfish. But it's getting a little large, getting a little bit aggressive, so I don't know. I'm kind of eyeballing it. We'll see. And so far the hippo tang seems okay. I'm still kind of eyeing it. I keep thinking of the days that I will probably rehome it due to the growing size. Let me zoom out a little bit so you can see. I think right now it's still okay, but there will be a day for sure that I'll need to rehome him. So that's kind of like all the fish situation right now. The Roland damsels, I find myself really enjoying watching. The Bangkok Cardinal, most of the time I don't even notice them anymore. They just kind of blend with the background. It's a terrible thing to say, but it is what it is. The yellow tang has a little case of head and lateral line erosion. It was getting better, and it got a little worse. Now it's a little worse. But I did not step up feeding of nori recently because I've been so busy. But I'll probably start again and probably soak it in Celcon like I did before. That seems to have helped, so I'll do that again. And over here, look at the guy. The guy's always out now. This is a upside down goby, or the Circus goby, or black bar goby. This is a fish that goes by many names. I apparently have a pair. The other one, look, right there behind him. Look at that. So I've told the story many times, but essentially I got one. I did not see it for almost half a year, so I got another one. And then after almost a year, the other one popped out. No, actually no, scratch that. After a year and a half or 2 years, right? First, I did not see any of them. I thought I lost them all. First I see one, and then within a few weeks, the second one popped up too. It's like, what is going on? So yeah, they're not kidding when they say that they're super cryptic. But I think also with removing all the rock work and stuff like that, there's less place for them to kind of tuck away. So at least one of them are always visible now, which I thought is super cool. Anyways, as always, there are a lot more things I want to share, but again, I don't want to make this video too long. I just want to give a shout out to all the local reefers that I've met. You guys are awesome, fantastic. And thank you to all of you guys that reach out to inquire about the Bahamallamama Weeping Willow. This round I am not shipping, but I think the next round, the weather will be nicer, I may consider. But at the same time, the next round is probably going to be in like July. That's when Reefpalooza New York is going to happen, followed by the Aquachella in New Jersey in September. So I may just get some frags and I may just kind of bring them to the show for those who may be interested. That said though, as always, thank you for watching and I'll catch you guys next video. Peace.